it going? I'm Brian Juris with Gear Hideout, and today we are looking at 3 sliders under $100 that are going to help make your filmmaking that much better. The idea here is not to spend a lot of money, but to get a lot of value, a lot of bang for your buck, and one of the ways that you can do that to make your films a lot better is to use sliding movements and actions in your footage. All 3 of these sliders can be purchased on Amazon, and let's dive right in. We're going to be looking at sliders from Zecti. I'm not sure how to say that, but that's going to be the 15.7 inch slider. That's going to be the cheapest slider that we're going to be looking at today. And then we're also going to be looking at the Neewer slider, which is very common that you're going to see on a lot of YouTube videos. And then lastly, we're going to see another slider made by Fosicam, and that one grows by 2 or 3 times its size. So it's a 9-inch slider, but it also triples in size, or sorry, doubles in size. I believe it becomes an 18-inch slider. So there's going to be a couple differences. So here you go. Here's what the Fosi mini slider looks like right out of the box. And this is going to be, I'm assuming, the Zecti 15.4 inch slider, and I was correct. So here you go, that's this one right here. It's got nice carbon fiber rails, and it comes with a couple little rubberized feet. Additionally, it's going to come with an adapter to go from a camera quarter turn to a tripod quarter turn bolt. So that's the Zecti, and again, this is the Fosicam. We can open this one up, and in this last box we'll get to the Neewer. Initial thoughts looking at them, I'm gonna probably say that this is it's very nice build quality. The sliding motion works very well. Really no resistance at all. Now, to create resistance, of course, you're going to turn this lock or unlock ring, and that doesn't work that well. It's not smooth. The finish on these carbon fiber rails is a little bit inconsistent, so if you're trying to use that as a brake, it might not be the best. Additionally, because it's a 12K carbon fiber weave, it's going to have a bunch of little bumps as you kind of slide through as you slide through your shot using the resistance. If you're just using the rollers, though, you don't feel that at all. So let's get into the Fosicam. And the Fosicam, again, it's going to be the smallest and most expensive out of the bunch. The Zecti comes in at around $50. The Fosi mini cam comes in a nice bag, and it costs right around $100, so it's going to be the most expensive out of the 3 sliders. The Neewer is going to be right in the middle, around $75. So initial thoughts are the build quality on this is really nice. I'm going to set this down. It's not in the way. So this one's a pretty cool. It's got a little belt in it that helps extend itself out to the right and to the left. Pretty smooth in the initial, just kind of feeling it. Doesn't seem to be as smooth as the Zecti. So now, so this says it's a 9-inch slider total, and so it slides to about the same as the Zecti. Now again, the footprint is about half the size, and weight-wise, they're actually fairly close. I might say that the mini slider is a little bit lighter by Fosicam. Overall, still a pretty nifty device, and doesn't have much play. I kind of thought that this was going to be a little cheap in its manufacturing. All right, lastly, we have the Neewer. And this is probably the most popular tripod out of the bunch. Has very good Amazon reviews. As well, the Zecti does too. The Fosicam mini slider is new to the market, so therefore it hasn't really garnered the number of reviews as the other 2, but I am here to help you make that decision. So here we go. Initial impressions. Pretty nice case. Case-wise, they're all going to be relatively kind of cheaply made cases. but they do offer some padding and will protect your slider. So let's just organize this. You can get rid of some of these boxes. And the Neewer is strapped in when it comes from Amazon. And it's not as easy as you'd think to get this thing out. Okay, that's because, all right, here we go. So now, as you can see, the Neewer slider is going to be much larger than the others. And, all right, it looks like one of the little feet came off in shipping. That's what I'm holding here. And you can just screw this back on. Again, not very hard to do. Overall, build quality looks pretty good. Feeling the rails feel maybe a hair smoother than what you're going to see from the Zecti. Again, build quality very, very nice on the Neewer. Looks like it's going to be able to support just about any DSLR pretty easily, and it's also got just a camera screw mount. It, I believe, comes with an adapter. Oh yeah, you're gonna have all your adapters for it right here, and you'll be able to mount a kind of a normal quarter turn onto it. Those are going to be all three of the sliders. Initial impressions, I would probably say build quality wise, probably the Neewer is going to be the beefiest out of the bunch. I'm not sure if it's the most practical due to the size, doesn't really fit in a backpack. The little Lecti for 50 bucks looks like it's going to be a killer slider. My only kind of qualm with it right now is it doesn't have the best braking action. If I was traveling, this Fosicam slider looks like it might be the winner. So yeah, we're going to dive into these, show you guys some shots, and get them mounted up. And I forgot to say, the one last thing that we will be unboxing right now is a fluid head. And this is just a very cheap fluid head from GK. It's kind of just again, just generic fluid head that we bought just to mount onto the sliders to allow us to move the camera and tilt up and down. And these things run about 25 to 30 bucks. And it's a must for any slider, depending on which one you're using. So yeah, that's what we have. Let's see some test shots. So we just got done filming with a couple of the sliders, and our initial kind of first impressions, and I know that this will probably carry on to the life of the slider, would be that the Fosicam seems to be the most practical overall, even though it is the most expensive. I'm going to get into the details why, but all three of the sliders work very, very well if you just want to get a sliding shot. But if you need to get a sliding panning shot, then you're probably not going to want to go with these two, either the Neewer or the Zecti. And the reason being is that when you set the resistance on the slider themselves, you just get this inconsistent braking motion as you move across. And one of the problems is it causes for jerks in the footage. And then additionally, if you're trying to pan or do any other work, you don't have anything that's causing resistance to really get that fluid dynamic shot and really kind of get just a great final product. These won't do exactly what you want. However, we do have to kind of keep in mind that these are all under $100, and for that, all three of them far exceed their price tag in terms of performance. So overall, I think if I were to recommend one, it would definitely have to be the Fosicam, because you are able to place resistance onto the slider, and it's a consistent braking as you kind of go through the entire motion. And especially if you're trying to pan and use a sliding motion, that brake is exactly what you need to make just a kind of a beautiful shot in the end. In terms of the length and the distance, I think if you're going to be doing a little bit more commercial shooting, it is nice to have the length. However, I don't think it's particularly a necessity. Unfortunately, I think if you were using this on a commercial shoot, you would need to figure out a better braking system for it to really to use it as a pro tool. But again, if you only have $50, I think that the Zecti is a great choice. You definitely get fluid results out of it. Of course, you don't have the best braking, but for $50 as a beater slider to throw in your bag, I don't see why you wouldn't. It's still small enough to travel with. In comparison, you can't really travel with the Neewer. It is nice. Sorry, both of them are nice. The Neewer is going to be more heavy duty, a little bit beefier in its build. But yeah, I think overall you can't go wrong with any of them. But if I were to advise you to pick one up, I'm going to have to say the Fosicam. It's just a more unique design. It works very, very well, and it has the resistance that you're going to need if you're going to want to use any sort of fluid head on top of it. So that's my recommendations. Thank you, and check out our website, www.gearhideout.com. You can find all sorts of outdoor gear reviews, as well as camper gear reviews, even bike gear reviews. And of course, you can support the channel by purchasing the sliders through the links in the description. And as always, click subscribe, and we appreciate you taking the time to watch the review today.